Hi everybody, it's Kara, and I thought I would get started making some cards using that Simon Says stamp card kit that I showed you in my last video. And I'm wanting to do a couple things when I use this card kit. First of all, I want to actually use it. I want to use up the cardstock, I want to try out the products, and just kind of see if I like all of the things that they sent. And then in addition to that, I also want to make what I'm hoping will be relatively simple cards. I don't want to spend a ton of time because I'm hoping that I'm going to make several from that kit. So I thought I would share with you some of the cards that I'm making, and this is the first one. First, I thought I would just kind of show you what I'm going to use from the kit itself, and then the extra little supplies that I have that I'm going to use from my own, materials. So obviously I'm going to be using the stamp set. It's just absolutely adorable. Sending happy thoughts, and of course I have to use that. And then in addition to that, I'm going to use a little bit of the marshmallow white cardstock that came with the kit. I'm going to use a little bit of the lipstick red ink from Simon Says Stamp, and then I'm going to use some of the pattern paper, which you can see right there, and I'm going to use that really pretty lipstick red cardstock. Okay. In addition to that, I'm going to use my favorite black ink, which is the VersaFine Onyx Black. It's the best ink that I've ever found for sentiments and things that have a lot of fine detail. It's just my favorite. Then I also, of course, have my scissors. I have my adhesive runner. This is my current favorite. It's from Tombow. And then I have my bone folder. And I have this little nail file that I keep on hand, and I'll tell you why I use that in just a minute. I've done a little bit of prep work because I didn't want this video to be too long. So I cut out the cardstock from that lipstick red, which is, like I said, a gorgeous color. And the card itself is going to be 4.5 by 4.5 inches. So it'll be a square. The pattern paper is 4 by 4, and I had already adhered it to the cardstock base using the Tombow adhesive runner. And I've also stamped the interior sentiment because there's not going to be a sentiment on the outside of this card. And I did that using that Onyx Black ink, sending lots of love. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous sentiment. Love it. So that's all ready to go. Okay. Now, just so you guys are aware, I use this Teflon bone folder when I make cards. It's a little bit pricey. I want to say it cost me around $20-ish, but it's the best bone folder. I had a couple of the cheaper versions, and I love the way this one works, so it's definitely worth the money if you guys are interested. And then I always have a little nail file when I'm cutting paper, or especially cardstock, because every once in a while you get that little rough edge from the blade on your runner, and I just kind of file it off and smooth it. So just keep a cheapy nail file right by me for that purpose. Okay, so let me put this aside. I'm going to put a few of these little envelopes on the front of the card. And I've already made a couple, but I thought I would make the last one with you guys so you could see what I was talking about. I'm going to get out my Fiskars stamp press. I'm going to pull out the stamp that I want to use, which is this envelope down here. And get that all ready to go. And I'm just going to stamp this down with some of that VersaFine Onyx Black ink on a little bit of this kind of heavyweight cardstock, and then I'm going to fussy cut it like I did the other two. Okay, and like I said, I love this for things that have some finer detail. It's just a really great ink. It is a little pricey as far as ink goes, so if you just want to try it, they do come in like little cubes that you can buy and try those out. There you go. Let me set that aside. And there's the nice little envelope. And just so you guys can see the detail of that ink. Hopefully it will focus a little bit, but hopefully you can kind of see. It's really a nice little black ink. Get my scissors, and I'm just going to really quickly fussy cut this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think homemade cards should ever look perfect because then they don't look homemade to me. But that's, of course, just my thing. Okay. Fussy cutting is one of my least favorite things to do. I don't know about you guys, but it's just not something I enjoy, but I thought this would be a really cute and simple little card with these 3 little envelopes. So there's that. Now I want to put, there's a little teeny heart in this stamp set. I want to put that on one of these envelopes using that lipstick red ink. So let me get that stamp press again and switch out the stamps. And go ahead and get that right there in the middle. And I don't really care if this is on straight in because I can maneuver that stamp press pretty well. So I'm going to use the ink. Get a little bit of that lipstick red on there. And let's see. Right about there looks good. Okay. So there's the little heart. Super cute. Let me get that card base. Now sometimes when I am trying to decide placement on the front of the card, and let me zoom in a little bit for this. Oops, wrong way. You notice that it still kind of sticks up quite a bit. So this is not a permanent adhesive. So I'll put a little teeny dab of that down there so that it will hold the card shut while I'm kind of deciding where I want everything placed. So I'm going to kind of do something like this, I think. Let's see. I also thought about kind of distressing up the envelopes a little bit. And right now I'm just kind of playing with the placement, trying to decide how I want these things to look, because I don't really want them to be kind of perfect. I want them to be kind of just like a messy little pile. Something like that looks pretty good. What do you think? Okay, so I'm going to use the same runner because if I don't really like the way it turns out, I can always maneuver because this stuff doesn't stick down right away. Something like that. Maybe, let's see, I think I'm going to move this over just a teeny bit. And this is the stuff that happens when, you know, you're not filming and you get to take all the time that you want. So you can kind of play with the placement of the pieces. Like the behind the scenes part that you don't really see. What do you think? Placed pretty good? I kind of like that. It's nice and simple. And then I'm gonna push it down, and then basically you just open this up, rub off the little bit of adhesive that's in there. Cardstock still looks fine. I think I have a little bit on the top. And there you go. Super simple. This is one of the probably easier cards that I've made. But I think it's still really cute. You can stick a little envelope. There you go. So if you guys have any questions about this little card, let me know. I think it was pretty simple and easy to use, and I got one card down. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. Bye, everybody.